Hello and welcome back. So in this today's class we'll try to understand what is the meaning of the shift register, then what are the different types of the shift register we have, right? So first we'll try to understand what is the meaning of shifting operation as well as the register operation, right? So it means we have the two terms, right? Two terms, one is called as the register, another one is called as the shift operation. We'll see first what is the meaning of the register, then we'll see what is the meaning of the shift operation, right? So as early we discussed that, so if you want to store the 1 bit information, right? So what is the meaning of 1 bit information? Either binary number, it's maybe 0 or 1, right? So if you want to store the 1 bit binary information, we require the 1 flip-flop, right? So we require the 1 flip-flop. Now question is that if you have something these many number of bits information, so if you see that how many bits number of information we have, 1 2 3 4 5, so it means that we have the 5-bit information. So one flip-flop can able to store the 1-bit information, but if you want to store the 5-bit information, so how many flip-flops we require? So we require the 5 flip-flops. The reason is that each flip-flop can able to store the 1-bit information, right? Now we'll see what is the meaning of the register. So if you try to read this one, a register is a device that is used to store the multi-bit information. So in this case I am going to store only 1-bit information, but in this case I am going to store the 5-bit information, right? So it is what we called as the multiple bit information or multi-bit information, right? So what is the use of the register is? Register is something like memory device where we can store the multiple bits information. That is the definition for the register, right? Now see how we can make the register means, if you want to store the 5-bit information, how many flip-flops are required? 5 flip-flop, right? It means that it is the group of flip-flop, right? So connected in series used to store the multi-bit of the data, right? So that is what we called as the register. Now we will see what is the meaning of shifting operation. Suppose for example if I want to store the 3-bit information, let it be I have this is the flip-flop 1, this is the flip-flop 2, this is the flip-flop 3. Let initial data will be 0 0 0. Now what is the data which is stored in the 3 flip-flop? 1 2 3. The data stored here is 0 0. Later on some requirements come up, that what is that requirement is, for example this data you should be replaced with the 1 0 0. Now what we have to do, somehow these are connected, let it be this is some operation of the register. Now from 0 0 0 to we need to replace with what? 1 0 0. It means that where we have to replace this value, the current value of this register is 0, it should be replaced with 1, right? So for that what we have to do, we need to give some external input, right? The moment if we give the external input inside of this flip-flop, now the value will be stored here 1, right? As I said previously, one flip-flop can able to store only 1-bit information, right? What is the data already inside of this one? 0, right? But if you are trying to insert new data 1, then what will be happen to this 0? This 0 will be shifted to the next flip-flop. It means that this 0 will come to here, this 0 will go to here, then finally this 0 will be your output value. So it is replaced with 0 0 with the 1 0 0. Now if you observe here, what is the exact operation we are performing? We are shifting the binary value from one flip-flop to the another flip-flop, right? So register means which is used to store the multiple or multi-bit information. How to store the multiple bit information? We are going to connect the multiple flip-flops one to another, so that we are going to store the right multi-bit information, nothing but the register operation. Now what is the use of shifting operation? In order to replace one kind of data with the another data, we need to perform the shifting operation, right? So in real time we have the different shifting operations, right? So based on our requirement we have the different type of the shifting registers, right? So first we will see the definition. If you observe here, a group of flip-flops which is used to store the multi-bit information, right? And the data or information moved from the one flip-flop to another flip-flop, right? The moving can be performed by the shift, then the information will be stored by the register. So shifting plus storing is we called as the shift register operation, right? So I hope you understand what is the meaning of register, what is the meaning of shifting operation. Now the next point is that we need to understand what are the different type of the classifications of the shift register. Depends upon the requirement, we have the different types of the shift register, right? So we'll see one by one. The first one is So the first one is the serial in, serial out shift register, right? So what is the name of this one? Serial in, serial out. So it means that if you consider here for serial in, serial out, right? So here we have the two terms will come. So first one is called as the input term, second one is called as the output term. It means that how we are giving the input value as well as the how we are getting the output value. Now if you try to see that what is the meaning of this one, serial in, serial out, right? So this is what we called as the input, this is what we called as the output. It means that we are giving the information serially, input is we are giving the serially, then output we are taking the serial out. Now if you see that what is the second subheading, serial in, parallel out. So what is the input, what is the output? So serially we are giving the input, parallelly we are connecting the output. Later on we will see how to perform the serial operation as well as the parallel operation. Now what is the next type of shift register? Parallel in, serial out. So input is we are giving in the parallel manner, output we are collecting in the serial manner. Then one more type, so parallel in, parallel out. Input we are giving parallelly, output also we are getting the parallel only. Next we have something called as the bidirectional shift register or unidirectional shift register. What is the meaning of this one is either you can shift the data towards the right direction or you can shift the data towards the left direction is called as the bidirectional shift register. So it support both the shifting towards the right direction, shifting towards the left direction, then it is called as the bidirectional shift register. Then finally we have one more important question, so how to design the universal shift register. So what is the meaning of universal? Name itself we can tell that. So this is some different functionality, this will perform some different operation. If we can able to perform all this operation by using of the single circuit, then it is called as the universal shift register. So whatever the 1 to 5 we have, all the capabilities we will be having by using of something called as the universal shift register, right? So now if you see that we have the two types of communication, right? One is serial, another one is the parallel. So what is the possibilities? One is serial or serial or parallel, then one more is parallel to parallel, parallel to serial, something we have, right? It means that serial in, serial out, serial in, parallel out, parallel in, parallel out, parallel in, serial out. So these are the possibilities here we have, right? How we are shifting the data, right? So this serial in, serial out we call simple as the SISO. SISO means input we are giving serially, output we are collecting the serially. So what is the meaning of SIPO? Serial in, parallel out. So what is the meaning of PISO? Parallel in, serial out. What is the meaning of PIPO? Parallel in, parallel out, right? Bidirectional means try to remember we can shift the data toward the right direction as well as the left direction. So what is the meaning of universal shift register? So these all shift register operation can be performed by the single shift register, then it is called as the universal shift register, right? So in the shift register we are going to design the all these circuits and we are going to store the data, nothing but we are performing the register operation. As per requirement we are shifting the data from the one flip-flop to the another flip-flop. So that is why it is called as the shift register. One more point you have to remember is that all shift registers are worked based on the common clock pulse mechanism, right? So common clock pulse mechanism means this is work based on the synchronous or parallel, counter or sequential operations, right? So it is work based on the synchronous sequential circuit or synchronous counter, where common clock pulse will be applied to the all the flip-flop, right? So after understanding these different type of the possibilities, we will see what is the meaning of serial in, serial out, serial in, parallel out, parallel in, serial out. Like this we will see how we can draw the basic block diagram. After learning the how to draw the basic block diagram representation, then we will try to implement the real-time circuits, right? Now see that what is the meaning of serial in, serial out. What is that first one? Serial and serial out. So how to remember whether it is serial or parallel means simple. For example, if you consider any shift register, nothing but let it be this is a flip-flop 1, this is flip-flop 2, something we have, right? So how to remember whether it is serial in, serial out or parallel in, parallel out, something means if any data which is given horizontally, right, or if it is collected horizontally, then it is called as the serial operation. This is a simple way to remember. Serial means we need to give the data either in serial, nothing but the horizontal direction, or we can get the data also horizontal direction. Then this kind of operation we called as the serial shifting operation. Now now what is the meaning of the parallel operation? So parallel operation means the same, we have the multiple flip flop, right? Flip flop 1, flip flop 2, something, right? So if you give the data either top or bottom, or if you are collecting the get the data from the top to bottom, right, or top to bottom, then it is called as the parallel operation. Simple to remember is, if it is horizontal means serial, if it is right like top to bottom or vertical means this is what we call as the parallel operation. Now what is the first shift register we have? Serial in, serial out, serial in, serial out, right? So what is the meaning of serial in? Input we are giving serially, output we are getting the serially. So what I told, serial means we are giving horizontal, output also we are getting the horizontal, serial. Now see that here what is the meaning of this one is, so they are considering the 4 flip flop. I told that register means multiple flip flop connected together, right? Let it be this is the first flip flop, second flip flop, third flip flop, right? Now how we are entering the data inside of this flip flop? First we are giving serially some external data or external binary information we are storing here. Now if you see that horizontal, right, which one this is? This is called as the serial input. After storing the data into these 4 flip flop, now what we have to do? We need to get the data, right, output, right? In which direction? Again horizontal, right? So this is what we called as the serial out operation. See, data we are giving serially means horizontal, that will be shifted from the one flip flop to the another flip flop. Finally data also collecting at the horizontal operation only. Now what is the meaning of the second one? Serial in, parallel out. Now if you observe here how we are giving the input serially, how we are getting the output value parallel. It means that serial means, see that again I am considering the 4 flip flops. So serially only, right, we are giving horizontal. How we are collecting the output? Vertical, right? So bottom. So bottom means we are collecting the output means in parallel. So if it is something like this means we are giving the input parallelly. So top means we are giving the input parallelly. Down means we are getting the output parallelly, right? So this is the operation of the serial in, serial out. Now what is the meaning of the parallel in, serial out, right? What is the meaning of parallel in? So we need to give the data, right, on top, then we need to collect the data on horizontally at the output, right? This is the input, this is the output. So here only we are getting the collecting the data, right? Horizontal means it is serial out. So here if you are giving something data is like that, it is called as the parallel input, right? Now what is the meaning of this one, right? So parallelly we are giving input, right? How we are collecting the output? Parallel only. So this is what we called as the parallel input, parallel output shift register, right? So first we will try to understand this block diagram. Once it is completed, now we will see how to implement the real-time circuit for this, all this type of the shift register, right? I hope you understand. Thank you.